All right, today's lesson is coconut probiotic yogurt. I'm going to start through and just show you the different things that I use for making coconut yogurt and the methods. I'm going to try to keep this video under 5 minutes. So to start out with is the prep phase. Everything that the yogurt is going to touch, I sterilize. So you see I have a whisk and a spoon, my glass Pyrex measuring, my stainless steel saucepan, and my Lavelle canisters. Also, I have 3 cans of coconut milk. This is the organic coconut milk with no guar, and there are also no other ingredients but coconut milk in these coconut cans. We use one teaspoon of sugar, organic sugar. You have your probiotic mix, whichever kind you use. I use Bravo. 1 packet of gelatin for 1 quart of yogurt. And this is the Lavelle machine that keeps the yogurt at a consistent temperature. The other thing I like to use is a heat gun so that I don't overheat the yogurt when I'm mixing everything. So to start out with, I preheat the oven to 170 to 180 degrees, and I put all the things that are going to touch the yogurt into the oven to sterilize for at least 10 minutes. So I'm going to sterilize this stuff, and then I'll see you back in a little bit. Okay, so while I'm getting everything ready and everything's in the oven now, sterilizing, I start to get the preparation underway for the rest of the yogurt making process, which moves really quickly. So first thing I'm going to do is find a place to put my yogurt maker that is away from windows and drafty areas, because I want this yogurt maker to be as consistent as possible at 100 degrees for 24 hours. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm just getting the water ready for the yogurt containers to sit in. And at the back of this, there's a little indicator without the vessels in it. You can fill the water level up to that, and the water level will be perfect for when it's time to put the yogurt vessels in. You can start your process now by hitting the button 1 time, the temp button, and then taking yourself up to 100 degrees, and you hit confirm. And then now it asks me how long do I want to make the yogurt for, and so I've got to cancel. Start out with the temp. Temp is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you hit time, and I put 24 hours in. 25. I take that down to 24. Once I'm all done, I hit confirm, and now this is going to start heating up and get the temperature up to where it should be. The next thing I do while I'm getting ready is I open each can of coconut milk. There's going to be 3 cans total. You're not going to use all 3, but it takes part of a third one in order to get to a quart. So you're going to want to shake these up really well. I always give them a good slam on a hard surface to get the yogurt kind of broke up, because it does harden when it's sitting on the shelf at the store a little bit before I open it. And then so I get these 3 cans open and get them ready to go. Okay, now that the sterilization process is complete, you can get all the stuff out of the oven. I'll also note, when you're getting this stuff out of the oven, it is hot. I do recommend using a heat pad or something to keep from burning yourself. Okay, once things are cooled off a bit, I stir up all these cans and make sure everything's consistent. It's going to take a minute to kind of get everything liquefied the right way, and then we'll start the process of getting the yogurt ready. And sometimes just pouring the yogurt into this warm Pyrex measuring, it helps to break it up a little bit. You can see what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to 4 quarts or 4 cups to get 1 quart. So it only takes a little bit out of this last can. So I just pour it in till we get to 1 quart. And if you're over a little bit, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to be pretty close to 1 quart. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a little bit of this coconut milk. It's still a little warm. Well, at least the container is. I'm just going to pour a little bit into the saucepan. Yeah, about a cup or so. And just start to heat this up a little bit and stir it. I just like to use my whisk when I'm getting it up to temperature, and I just use my temperature device now to monitor this temperature. What I'm trying to do at this stage right now is bring this up to about 130 degrees, and at the same time I'm going to before it reaches that temperature, and as a matter of fact I'm going to turn it off just for a second so I can show you. I'm going to mix in a packet of just regular unflavored gelatin and my 1 teaspoon of sugar. That 1 teaspoon of sugar is what feeds the probiotic during the incubation process, so that it has food enough to grow properly. You don't want to over sugar it, because then it can start killing the probiotics, and you don't want to under sugar it, because then the probiotics start eating themselves. So I found that 1 teaspoon is the perfect amount to get the consistency that I like. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in the gelatin now, and I'll whisk it in slowly as this comes up to temperature. So you can see the gelatin's a little bit clumpy while it's in there. This is still cold. I haven't applied the heat yet. It's about 98 degrees or so, and I'm also going to put the sugar in at this time so it can start to dissolve. Because what we're going to do is we're going to try to get this small amount of coconut milk up to about 130 to 160 degrees, just so that the gelatin activates. So what I'm going to do before I get it there is I'm just going to stir this and whisk it and get all the gelatin broke up, so that all these little clumps are broke up completely as I can get them. Because I don't like little bits of gelatin in my final product, but it does happen. So I know this video is going a little bit over 5 minutes, but I feel like a lot of this stuff is necessary. So if you don't want these tidbits, then I guess fast forward. So now with the heat on just a little bit below medium, we'll turn it down a little bit more. Don't want to scorch anything. I'm going to continue to whisk this and check this temperature. I don't really want to get it too high. Definitely don't want it to boil. There's no reason to boil coconut milk. It's coming in from a can, so it's already good to go. And I'm being careful to keep my utensils sterile. And let's just double check this temperature. So you can see the temperature's coming up now. I like using this laser scanner. It's just much easier and much faster for me to check my temperature, and I feel it's a lot more accurate. You can get one of these for about 20 bucks on Amazon. Doesn't have to be anything fancy or calibrated. It gets us close to being in the ballpark. I'm at about 120 degrees right now, so we're getting close to our temperature. I'm going to keep stirring, making sure that all that stuff is dissolved. It's looking good. So we're just about ready for our next phase. I'm going to get the rest of this mixed up, and then we're going to get the next phase, which is going to be adding our cold coconut milk that's been sitting here back into the mix, and we're going to bring this temperature back down because the idea is we don't want to add any probiotics to this mix to anything under 100 degrees Fahrenheit or above 103, because essentially we just want to keep this probiotic as live as possible, and that's the optimum temperature that our body runs at, and we don't want to do anything to kill this probiotic. So we want to keep as much of it as alive as possible. So I just went ahead and turned the heat right off. There's no reason to have the heat on now. We've dissolved all the pretty much all of the gelatin. There might be a little bit left here and there. It's not a big deal, but you want to stir it all up now, and then you just keep checking the temperature. Look again, it's coming down. See, it came back down to 97. So it's a little cool. So what I'll do is I'm going to turn the temperature back on, and I'm going to give it not very long, because I don't want this to get so hot that it's over. I want it right in our window of 100 to 103. So you can see it's coming up. I'm going to keep stirring it so that the temperature stays pretty even. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my probiotic supplement a little bit at a time when it's in the temperature range. And that might mean I have to shut the oven down. So we're in our temperature range right now. So I found once we're pretty much here, we're gonna shut the temperature down. It'll stay warm enough, and then I'll just go ahead and get my probiotics now. I'll open each one, and then I'll mix each one. I'm gonna try to do this one at a time and show you, that you want to make this a slow process. You don't want to just dump this whole packet in at a time. You just want to do a little bit, and then just mix each part of it up so it's mixed thoroughly. And then you can check your temperature in between these packets. Your probiotic might be a little different than mine. Mine consists of 3 different parts, but yours might just be one part. So you can it'll be a lot quicker for you. But all I'm doing is just getting these clumps kind of out of my yogurt, and making sure that I'm staying in my window, and we're looking good. I wouldn't worry about, if you go over or under a little bit, it's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to continue stirring this, adding this in slowly until I get all 3 packets in, or if you just have one packet or whatever your starter is, your pieces will all go in basically at this time at the same interval and the same temperature. Pretty much the probiotic's going to be the same temperature no matter what brand you end up using. Okay, I'm just about done mixing in all my probiotic now, and as you can see, I've got most of everything dissolved. There's a couple little clumps, so I'm just going to whisk it a little bit longer just to make sure that I'm getting all the clumps out, because this is going to make your yogurt more consistent and smooth, and just better texture in the finished product. So once this is all mixed up, I'm going to shoot the temperature one more time just to make sure we're still in the window. We're good. And now I'm going to just transfer my my batches into my containers one at a time. Being careful not to spill any. Sometimes I spill a little bit. And that's about what it looks like. Try to get them all about the same if I can. I like using the separated containers just in case something happens and you get maybe a contamination in one. Doesn't always contaminate all of them. I've never had a bad batch using this method, so hopefully this continues. I've seen a lot of videos on people that they do this stuff and they get bad batches, and they're doing a lot of different things to try and remedy that. I will say one of the things I highly suspect is if you have a lot of mold in your house, or if you don't have stuff that's sterilized, that lends itself to a higher propensity of mold. And that's what you don't want to do when you're trying to make yogurt. You don't want to introduce anything that's going to incubate in there with your probiotics. So once this stuff is all poured into the yogurt vessels, I just do a quick measurement, make sure I'm still looking pretty good. That's not bad, not bad, not bad. we're still in a good window. We got to get this stuff transferred now over to the yogurt maker, which is at 100 degrees right now. It's sitting here. It's been preheating. The key is you just don't want to let your temperature fluctuate for too long. So you get our yogurt put into its containers. Sometimes I wipe them off if I spill any, but it doesn't really matter, because you got to clean this yogurt maker out when you're all done. And that's quick, just a quick rinse in soapy water, just on the surface to get the element clean. The next thing I do is I put the lids all on. And again, I know this video went a little longer than I wanted, but I thought it was important just to get a few of these key details in. And this is going to sit for 24 hours now. And you want to put it in an area that it's not going to be disturbed. You don't want people bumping it or, moving this yogurt around at all. Once it's in place, it sits, and you just let it do its thing. And that's the way it's going to look for the next 24 hours. And when I come back, I'm basically going to pull each one of these out. I'm going to stir them all up really, really good, and I'm going to put them straight in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours to continue curing, and then pull them out after 4 to 6 hours. There'll be a little bit of a hard surface. I'll stir all that back up together, and then the yogurt will be nice and creamy and nice consistency, almost to a Greek yogurt style. And that's it for the video. Thanks again.